Hello everybody, what's going on? And welcome back to the Road to Glory career mode. I hope you are all doing well. We have got 4 games of action coming your way to feast your eyes upon, including live games later on against Everton and City. But before any of that, this is how the table is looking. 8 games into Premier League life for us, and we are doing surprisingly better than I thought we would be, because after a tricky start to the season, we find ourselves up into mid-table. So now I'm wondering, how far can this Forest Green Rovers side actually go? Well, I want to try and keep the momentum going, and we have a real opportunity to do that into our first game of the day against Southampton. The player to watch, Diego Lopez, but he hasn't been the main man for us since we've joined the top flight of English football, as Solano has taken that title. With only 1 goal to his name, Lopez, I'm sure that will change in the near future. And, well, he probably should have had a goal immediately into this game. After a strong run from our number 9, the ball fell kindly back to Lopez, but to say the very least, I'm not quite sure how it didn't end up in the back of the net. What a save it was initially to deny him, and then the clearance away from the defender hits Lopez in the face and goes over. So, just seems like his luck was not in for that one there. But we didn't have to wait too long later to actually find the breakthrough. In fact, 5 minutes was all it took when De La Vega got in down the right-hand side, laid the ball across to an unmarked Solano, and he just tapped home with his left foot. So, yeah, no problem whatsoever for him. And Southampton, trying to get themselves a chance, gave away the ball quite high up the pitch. And this shows you how deadly our counter-attack can be, as Martinelli, breaking down the left-hand side at pace, pulls it back towards Lopez. First time right-footed finish, and he gets his goal. Lovely, finish as well into that bottom corner. Just kind of stroked the ball, not much power behind it. Went for the accuracy instead. And Southampton, who were actually trying in the game, you've got to give them credit. The problem was they were losing the ball, and it was a matter of 4 or 5 passes later before the chance was presented, as again the ball fell to Lopez, who made it 3-0 Forest Green. And just before half-time, he capped it off with a hat-trick inside the first half by smashing that one in. So, I don't know what it was. Maybe he was angry at the fact that he hadn't scored from the opening chance that he got, or maybe he's saying to Solano, look mate, I want the limelight back on my shoulders. But a first half hat-trick from our captain really did showcase what he is capable of doing. Then into the second half, Southampton in need of quite the comeback if they had to get something from this game. But they got the first goal of the second 45 as they found the back of the net there. But it was really about one player in particular this game. Solano linking up with Lopez again here. The touch to take it away from the defender just enough so he could find the angle for the shot. Then back across the goalkeeper into the corner of the goal, courtesy of the side netting, as in, inside the post, not outside of it, to make it 5-1. And then quite the dubious free kick given by the referee. I've been working on these, and I actually saw a stream recently. I can't remember who it was. And I was wondering what on earth he was doing, putting his, little circle thing above the net and then flicking up on the right analog stick. I was thinking that's surely going to miss, but he hit the target. So I decided to kind of go into the training and try it out myself. And I think that's the way to take free kicks. It's taken me a heck of a long time to get used to taking free kicks in FIFA 20, but I think I might have just found the way to do it. Put it that way. So Lopez, 6-1 win against Southampton. He scored 5. He would have had 6 had he have scored that first shot, which was saved well by the goalkeeper. I couldn't believe what I was seeing, and part of me wished I got the live kind of commentary with it, but then equally, I'm kind of glad I didn't, because I would have just felt like I'd been repeating myself over and over again with how well he did in that game. So, it was quite a sight to behold, and when we took on Brighton, I think they maybe saw what we did against Southampton and set up to try and counter it, because they really didn't commit too many bodies forward in this game. And I was fully expecting to win 2 out of 2, especially with the performance we put in. Remember, this is legendary difficulty with sliders, of course, added to make it more difficult on the AI side. I believe I showed you them heading into the Southampton game. So I was thinking, we just won that game 6-1. Surely we'll get a result away at Brighton. Brought back down to earth a little bit, because on the stroke of half-time, we were 1-0 down. And honestly, I didn't really know how we were 1-0 down, but we were. And that meant we would have to find a way back into this match. And Solano with this chance here, I was looking at it thinking, how have you not scored? And then from our corner, Brighton broke away, and it would have been pretty much game over if they'd scored this. And I looked back at this right here, and I don't quite know what I was trying to do defensively. I mean, it was nice tiki-taka football from Brighton, but Unal, who's bearing down on goal, luckily Lekeda gets back to put him off enough that he couldn't quite find the corner of the goal. But Hart makes the save. And I just had to count, really, I was lucky that we were still in with a shout of getting something from the game. De La Vega pulls it back to Solano, who this time around is not going to miss that one. So it was 1-1. But it was a stark contrast performance from what we saw in the first game of the day. And actually, we could have lost it. Unal again denied by Joe Hart late on to stop them from winning the game. But a 1-1 draw after a 6-1 win was not what I expected. But let's see what the rest of the episode has in store for us as we jump into the live portion. Newcastle away in the Cup. Probably should have played it if we wanted to get through, but we're not that bothered about the Carabao Cup this season. It was a 4-2 defeat. I also played our second team to give them a run out, so it's not that bad considering that it was our second team and we only lost by 2 goals. But for our next game then, we're away to Everton, I think. Are we away? We might have them at home, actually. But they're above us in the league, so this is a really good chance to get some points back on them. With Lopez's performance, we are at home. With Lopez's performance today, earlier on, then, well, there's a real possibility we might get something out of this game. I've got to change the team around, but as soon as I've done that, I'll see you in game. Our opponents are on the screen there, and it's not a side that I look at and actually fear from Everton. So I feel like we've got a good chance here today. I did make one mistake, however, when I was swapping back the team. I forgot to put Joe Hart back in goal. So Lance Moore makes his Premier League debut. However, unexpected that is. I didn't mean to do it, but hey-ho, he might surprise us. He might have a fantastic game here against Everton and keep his spot for the next one. Ultimately, though, I did actually mean to put Hart back in. Although he looked at this Everton side and didn't really fear it, there is a reason they're above us. But here goes Solano for the first opportunity of the game. He's hit the woodwork. He got through far too easily if you're an Everton fan. After they tried to play the ball, we deflected the pass. It fell into the path of Lopez. And the space just opened up for Solano straight through the middle as Dest will look to send this cross in. And Pickford will punch it away. Iwobi here just finds himself through and pulls it back. Todibo with the first block, but Iwobi's going to get a second chance. We couldn't react quick enough. And Alex Iwobi scores the opening goal here at the New Lawn. It's Everton 1, Forest Green Rovers 0. And that's frustrating because in the build-up to this, it might show you one of our players fell over, and that's why Iwobi had so much time in our penalty area. As you can see there, I think is that Lacerda? I'm not entirely sure. No, it's actually Facer? I don't know, but anyway, falls over. Iwobi gets through. First shot comes in from Meral. Brilliantly blocked by Todibo, but unfortunately, the second one ends up going in, and Lance Moore didn't really cover himself in that much glory there with that attempted save. Martinelli to Solano. That missed chance from Solano then proving to be the difference here. But Lopez, what a save from Pickford. Martinelli drives forward. 2 additional minutes in the game. Martinelli's ball to Solano, who's in behind. Solano! And he's not going to miss this one. He hit the woodwork earlier on with an early warning sign for Everton. But his second chance, he finds the bottom corner with. And we will get it at half-time on equal terms then. I've got to say, it's been a little bit more difficult than I first thought looking at the Everton side. So I was feeling very confident after I saw that, but they were giving as good as they were getting in this first half. But can we find the second half where we take control of this game? De La Vega, Solano through the middle, and Solano is so strong in these positions. Can he find the finish? No, yes, he can. 2-1. We take the lead, and it's our main man of the season who has got it. And really, you can say that Lopez is pretty close in terms of goals, but you look at where he scored them. If he didn't have that, game earlier on today, then he wouldn't even be anywhere near Solano. This is the player, this is the guy who's been carrying us a little bit in the Premier League this season. Martinelli, a minute to play, and it looks like that is going to be it from the game. It finishes Forest Green 2, Everton 1. It's 3 points on the board for us. Just to put into perspective the performances of Solano right now, he is second on the top scoring list with 9 in 11. Our next highest player is Lopez, who's got 6, and 5 of those came today in that one game. So without him getting those 5, we would not have another player in the top 25 in the goal scoring charts. And the threshold is 3. So that kind of shows you just how much he's been doing. And not only that, he tops the assist charts as well. I've got to say, De La Vega, he's got up to 4 now. And before today, I think he had 0. So he's having a decent episode, but it's all about one player. Our next game is against Manchester City away at the Etihad. They are in 4th place. I don't think we'll get anything from the game. But of course, we'll give it everything we've got and try and come out with a result at the end of it. And if Solano's playing as he is, then, well, there's any possibility that it could happen. The City 11 is on your screen. And I did actually run through this as live. But there was a song playing in the background. And I wasn't sure if I'd get copyrighted. But the only thing you need to know about our team is that Lance Moore starts in goal again. I wanted to see how he would perform against a side like Manchester City, especially now that he's so close in overalls to Joe Hart. Lacerda up towards the feet of Lopez. We're over 40 minutes played and we have held our own against this City side as Dest carries forward. Now needs some support in the middle. Solano's there. It goes past him though to Martinelli, and Eder Militao provides the block for City. Otherwise, that could have easily been 1-0. I'm not sure we'll get many chances, and when we do, it's a handball, ref! Have I got handball switched on? I think I have, but I might not. So I'm going to give the referee the benefit of the doubt, but I will check it after this game. But that looked like handball. As I was saying, I don't think we're going to get many chances, and when we do, they'll probably be on the counter. But we've actually stopped City from really creating as Todibo has gone close now then, denied by Ederson. We're 15 seconds away from half-time, and this is a good way to end off this first half. As Kevin De Bruyne tries to head it away, goes to Todibo. He finds Godfrey. Now Pedro de la Vega into the feet of Solano. No, it goes through to Martinelli instead. And it's a weak shot, but de la Vega might get to the rebound. Not quite. City right now under pressure, but they'll survive at the end of the first half. Sane for Manchester City, who so far have not found a way through this resilient defence. Oh, no! 20 seconds to go. And they've done it. That is so unlucky. We don't deserve that. But such is the quality that City have got. Because Leroy Sane has had a bad game by all accounts. That has to be said. He's done nothing for them all day. Has managed to smash it in at the near post. And now the question remains, would Joe Hart have saved that? Because if he would have done, people are looking at us for making the decision to keep Moore in the side. Especially when Joe Hart wanted to start the game against Everton. He came to me before that game and told me he wanted to start, and I didn't play him. I told him there'd be other games. And maybe this was that game against his former club. But Sane has stolen the points for Manchester City with pretty much the last kick of the game, and that hurts. I can be proud of the way we played, but at the end of the day, we've got nothing from the game. So here is the Premier League table then to end off the day. Wolves, bottom of the league, still with only 1 point picked up. And that, of course, came in our game against them. Fulham down on 3 and Southampton down on 7. Which is good news for us because we find ourselves up into 8th with 19 points. Meaning we now have an 11-point gap over the relegation zone. Which I think has improved, if I remember rightly. So yeah, we're climbing ourselves away. But take a look at Spurs and Manchester United then. Both below us in the table. I don't know what's going on with either of those guys. But Aston Villa, very good season for them, up into 7th place. Watford somehow are still there. Liverpool, though, 36 points. We need 17 now to climb back to the title. They've 12 wins from 12, which is going to be annoying if they end up winning pretty much 95% of their games. One of the things that I found in this year's career mode has been that the top teams consistently end up with a stupid amount of points, which, don't get me wrong, is possible. But when it happens like 2 or 3 teams every single season, you sit there questioning how you're going to win a title if you can't afford to make mistakes. So we'll see how many wins Liverpool get this year, and that will give us an indication of how far away from a Premier League title in the series. Obviously, I never expected we win it in our first season anyway. I'd happily take European football in our first season. Equally so, I'd happily take avoiding relegation. Of course, that's what the board want from us. And right now, we are smashing it into 8th position. But I've got some news for you as well. We have our first 90 rated player. And of course, it's that man there, isn't it? Diego Lopez, our first 90 rated player in the series. I'm sure Solano will be quickly following the way he's performing. That 5-star weak foot is so clutch, ladies and gentlemen. And when we get him to a good overall, he is going to be the best striker in world football. I was unsure about keeping him in this season, especially after last year's contribution that he made in the Championship. I wasn't sure he'd cut it in the Premier League, but he has surprised me, as I'm sure he surprised many of you out there as well. But yeah, Lopez, welcome to the 90 rated crew. His value has skyrocketed right now as well. He's worth over £100 million, and it won't be too long before we'll be looking at potentially 150, 160 million. I mean, compare that to the next highest, which is Solano. He's £80 million behind, and then Pedro de la Vega, who's actually done well today. I'm very happy with his performances, but we're building a squad to be excited about for the future. Hopefully you enjoyed today's episode. If you did, a like would be greatly appreciated. As always, a huge thank you for all of your support on the channel as well. If you are new around here and like what you see, hit that subscribe button down below, and I will see you all again for another video, maybe tonight, if not tomorrow. Stay safe, people. Have a good day, have a good evening, and I'll see you all again very soon. Adios.